Because the fiery heart of a champion cannot be quelched. Justin Turner, welcome to Chicago. Cubs win. We're going to get into that and a whole lot more on the Sit Up Man postgame show right now. Holy cow. Cubs win. I can't, if you can't tell, I'm getting over a cold, so I might be coughing through this because now I am jazzed. But I'm Alex. Hi there. It's been a minute. Along with Hondo himself, Sean Hendrickson, joining me today for what was, I mean, we were prepared to have a negative show, and now we're here. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comments, please. Go off, because I'm sure, much like Hondo and I, it was, oh, God, here we go again. This was so irritating. And then now we're here. So before we get into the nitty gritty, we do have a little bit of self news. Right. We have production value now, a breaking news sounder. The Setup Man postgame show will not be taking place tomorrow due to scheduling conflicts. So the Podfather and I will make sure you get that extra episode that you are so deserved in Setup Man Nation. We will be live Friday afternoon after the game. Looks like Cade Horton against the White Sox, 120 Wrigley. Let's go. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, but that subscribe button especially, because then you will be able to join us on Friday for, we think, Cade Horton's Wrigley Field debut. And for today, I mean, we're going to talk about why Moises Ballesteros, why him over the other guys. And we're going to preview tomorrow's game against the Fish. And, I mean, another series win. Sean, let's start with the positive. You were screaming Justin Turner before we hit the live button.
Oh, yeah. Let me do it. You wanted to cut him, and you wanted him gone. DFA him. He's nobody. Let's go. Welcome to Chicago, Justin Turner. All I can really actually say is it's about time. It's about time. So yeah, I'll take that there. I did think it was a good move when they put him in the previous at bat. I thought that was a good move. Like, hopefully he was going to take some pitches. We needed something extra to happen after our offense was lulled into nothingness. So I think that was a good move. And, well, it paid off this go round.
Yeah, for sure. And it was crazy because watching it on TV, if you watch the replay after the show, obviously stay here, but after the show, go look up the walk-off. Nico Horner is smiling coming around third. He knows it's over. I don't even know if the Marlins threw it because he was smiling coming around third. It was like, oh,
halfway down.
Another series. I mean, just crazy. So I want to start positive because there were a lot of negatives from this game that we need to get into, but let's start with the positives other than Justin Turner. Again, hi there. Where you been? Ben Brown tonight. So Ben Brown tonight went 5 1/3, 6 Ks, the big number, no walks. Was pretty efficient. Only threw 72 pitches. You could argue he was pulled a little early. I think I agreed with the move overall. Thielbar has been pitching well and obviously got out of it. So, Sean, Ben Brown, in his last 20 innings, 24 Ks, only 3 walks. That's per Aldo Soto on X. So, Sean, takeaways from Ben Brown tonight as he continues, that arrow keeps pointing up.
I think this wasn't his sharpest outing, but it's almost like there were moments, I think you told me this as we got on, there were moments in the game where he was visually frustrated with either he didn't hit a spot or didn't get the swing and miss that he was looking for. And you could tell that's probably a result of like the pitching staff. Maybe it's Tom Hotovy and maybe it's Craig Counsell as well, just jumping in there and like just letting them know these are the things that we're looking for, and we need you to be a little more crisp on these things. Like if you're going to stay here, this is what you need to do. And again, I could be reading way more into that, but I'm just as a whole, it looked like Ben Brown had a game plan. He was trying to execute his game plan, and there were obvious things to him that he's like, I didn't do that the way I wanted to do that. And he was frustrated, which to me, I like, because at the end of the day, like, you're your own worst critic, and you know what you need to do to kind of overcome that thing and step into that thing and overcome that demon, as some say.
Yeah, and he did miss some spots tonight. So that was pretty evident. I mean, the triple he gave up, that was a fastball right down the middle. The first homer he gave up was, I mean, that's dead red. Stowers, who's been really good for Miami this year, I mean, no doubt. Off the bat, it's like, oh boy, PCA's got his back turned. It's like, oh, that's not going to end well. He missed some spots tonight, but overall, I mean, he only threw 72 pitches in 5 1/3. Again, he probably got pulled a little early. You could make that argument.
He got into a lot of trouble there in the 6th, and I think that was a smart move.
That's the argument, and I agree with the pull, but you could make an argument, well, you could just let him finish. But if he would have kept going, I'm not saying he wouldn't have got out of it, but just the first 8 innings of this game tonight, it probably wouldn't have went our way. It was really only the 9th inning that went our way. And all right, we have to talk about some negatives.
Oh,
I know. We'll get back to some positives. Don't worry. But Julian Merriweather, welcome to Low Leverage. Julian Merriweather tonight, first AB, bang, gone. Second AB, single. I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. And so actually, I have hired a choir for the setup, man. So we have new stat of the day imaging. I'm excited to debut right now for the crazy stat.
Stat of the day.
Gasp.
Thank you to the setup man choir. In his last 6 appearances for Julian Merriweather, he has only recorded 2 swings and misses. Let me say that one more time. In his last 6 appearances, he's only gotten 2 swings and misses. He has been brutal. Sean, he's got to get out of the trust tree.
Wait, so six appearances or 6 innings?
6 appearances.
6
so this
appearances.
Goes, yes, and I can look it up quick, but
no, you're fine. You're fine. Like, okay. Again, I know I'm going to be the eternal optimist. I'm going to get hate for this. I'm going to see comments going, "You're a clown." Please don't say that. I mean, I might be, but only in my spare time. But the idea here is like, guys, I'm going to be the first one to admit that Julian Merriweather, there's something not entirely there. Like, just like he was sitting around 96, 97. He's usually a 98, 99 guy. So I know the velocity is a little down. And again, I'm not sure. Sean's Cubs bias. Thank you for that. So, like, my thing is like, okay, that pitch he gave up to was it Connor Noland? What is it? No, I don't even know.
Connor Noland?
Noland. Like, he threw a really good pitch. Like, Connor Noland, that's a swing and miss pitch. Like, I looked at the baseball savant. He's like a 70+% free swinger when it's up and in over the, what do you call it, over the strike zone. Like, he's a 70% swinging guy. He's like 20% swings more than most of the MLB average in that. And he got on top of it. Like, all that to say though, Norby, thank you. It's Connor Norby. Thank you, chat. Appreciate y'all.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Cubs pitcher. Sorry.
No. Connor Norby, the guy that hit the high and in fastball. Like, he's a 59 in that upper end, but 70+ up and above the strike zone. And I think he threw a good pitch. I think he was waiting for it and he got on top of it. I mean, that stuff happens. I hate to say that. I would just say I'm not ready to throw in the towel on him yet. Like, there's a lot of velocity there, and we've seen really good strides in him. I mean, he kind of carried the bullpen not last year. Yeah, last year he kind of picked us up in the bullpen and like really carried us down the stretch. So there's a lot of good stuff there. I just not ready to give up and throw him out yet.
I'm not ready to throw him out. My argument for he needs to be out of high leverage is because guys like Brad Keller he's been awesome. Porter Hodge, we know what he is. He's probably our best reliever. Presley, Merriweather, these guys, sorry. Palencia is doing better. Thielbar's been awesome. The corpse of Drew Pomerantz has been unbelievable. That guy was out of the league for 4 years, and he's been awesome. Limited sample, albeit. I just think you have guys right now that you can rely on more than Merriweather, more than Presley. So let those, if there's a mop-up situation, all right, you get the 5th, you get the 6th. Let's just be done with it. This team is ready to win. They've showed it. They are the cardiac Cubs. They've done it again somehow when they looked like they had no pulse tonight. All of a sudden, they put up 3 in the 9th, and here we are. It's just this team is good enough where I don't think, and the front office is telling you they don't think they're waiting around for anybody this year. It's
right.
Are you producing? Yes? Cool. You're in. No? We'll see you later.
Yep.
And speaking of not producing, I don't want to say it because I want him to re-sign here and end his career as a Cub, go into the Hall of Fame as a Cub, go into the Cubs Hall of Fame. Kyle Tucker, we need to have a conversation because Kyle Tucker, since April 25th, which was that is the first game of the Phillies series at the end of April. So that's April 25th. Since then, he's batting a .94. He's got an on base of 296, and he's only slugging 371. For him, that's awful. And I'm not saying he's not going to turn it around. He will. But Sean, we kind of have to have this conversation, right? I know you don't want to because I want him to sign here.
I'll give you my conversation. My conversation is, hey, Tucker, we noticed that you're going through a slump right now. Would you still be willing to sign this 10-year, 11-year, $500 million contract now? So nobody has to say that you're not worth that at the end of the season? Let's do that, please. Thank you very much.
I mean, still pay the man his money. It's just
this is the thing, man. Like even superstars go through these things. This is the beauty of baseball. I want to say it was Deion Sanders. Okay, I'm not a Cowboy fan in any way, shape, or form, but I respect Mr. Primetime. You can love him, hate him, or anything you want now as he's coaching Colorado, the University of Colorado. But at the end of the day, Deion Sanders excelled at every single sport that he did, except when he got to baseball. He said it was the one sport that really pissed him off because you could be 3 out of 10, and that's really good, and he wanted to beat the crap out of this sport. And so to me, like, listen, this is it, man. Kyle Tucker's going through a slump. Even if you're not on board with that, if we're going to have that conversation about him, we need to have that conversation about every single person up and down that lineup because every single one of them have been slumping since the end of that Philly series. So if we're going to harp on Kyle Tucker, he's a superstar. Guess what, man? We need players to step up too. He's going to pick up 90% of the other season. We need other guys to step up when he's not on for the other 10 or 15% of the season.
I want to clarify because I see Ways World in the chat is really coming after me. I'm not trying to be out of line. I'm just stating the facts, man. Since April 25th, we're going on 3 weeks now. He hasn't been good. I agree. He's going to figure it out. Chat, get off my back. He's going to figure it out. I'm not concerned. It's a fact. He's been not great for about 3 weeks now. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying there needs to be a conversation to cut him. I'm not saying any of that.
You're right,
I'm
Urban.
just saying he's had a rough 3 weeks. But the good news is the Cubs are still winning ball games.
That's
Even
right.
Tonight, him and Seiya combined were 0-for. He still found a way to put up 5 runs.
You throw a Bush in there too.
Miraculously. We're fine. We're fine. Chat, I apologize. Wow.
The Podfather said it. Hey, look, man, the Podfather's calling you out right now. How dare you?
Goodness gracious.
Man, we love you guys. Thanks
when
for playing
Papa
in
Bear's
chat.
watching. All right. Well, I think that's enough for the game today, so I don't get in trouble or fired by the Podfather himself.
Let's go.
Let's talk about the news and notes of the day. So, if you live under a rock or didn't watch the game tonight, Moises Ballesteros, after Kyle and Ty literally talked about it last night, like a half hour later, Moises Ballesteros gets called up to the show. Ian Happ officially to the IL with an oblique injury. Fun fact, only the second time he's been on the IL in his entire career. He's an Iron Man. This is kind of a weird thing with the oblique. But Ian Happ did say today in an interview with 670 The Score in Chicago, he expects to be back next Tuesday, so minimum stint. We'll see. Obliques are tricky, so just take that with a grain of salt. But Ian Happ's like, yep, Tuesday, we're ready to roll. All right, we'll see. And to make room for Ballesteros on the 40-man roster, Tyson Miller has been transferred to the 60-day IL. Now, that sounds bad, but Tyson Miller will be eligible, even with the transfer to the 60-day IL. He will be eligible for activation on May 20th per CBS Sports. So it's not like he's gone for, till July or anything. He will be back, or it can be activated as soon as May 20th. So,
I wasn't sure because I thought he was doing really good in the minors. Apparently, and I'm going to shout out my guy on X, Fields, capital SZN69 there, who said like he got a comebacker hit him really good and really set him back and messed him up. So that's probably the ultimate reason for the IL 60. Because I thought to myself, like, he's been pitching, I've heard he's done okay. I mean, maybe not the best, but like if he's really not good or he's not doing anything like we want him to, then why not just cut him off the roster? But I didn't know about the comebacker until it was probably, I think he said late last week when it happened. So just shout out to that guy. I don't know if he's watching. If he does, thank you for your information. Appreciate you.
I had heard something similar. I believe it was Locked On. So, and I thought that was the case. I just couldn't find it anywhere on the internet to back that up. So, and before we get off Ballesteros completely, the expectation from Bruce Levine, he's expected to be the pretty much regular DH. Now, tomorrow there's a lefty on the mound. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's off tomorrow. We'll see. But we want to get into a conversation with you guys. So why Moises Ballesteros? What about, it was an outfield injury. What about guys like Owen Casey? What about Kevin Alcantara? Hey, Matt Shaw, maybe you figure something out there. Maybe he can come up and just DH or play defense or whatever. Jonathan Long has had an impressive AAA season. But the reason they went with Ballesteros pretty much just comes down to productivity. Mm-hmm. Owen Casey this season so far, he's only batting .219, on base .330. He's slugging .521, which is really good. He's really slugging the ball. But he's also striking out at a 35.7% clip. He's striking out a ton. So that clearly is not an option for a team that's trying to compete. Kevin Alcantara, what's he been up to? 257 batting average, slugging .389. Okay, not great. Strikeout rate, 32%. It's still really high. And look, Kevin Alcantara has a swing and miss to his game. So that's not totally crazy, but 32 is pretty high for one of your top guys. Matt Shaw. What's Matt Shaw been up to? He's hitting .262. He's doing okay. He hit a home run tonight. So these stats are before tonight's game, but he did hit a solo shot tonight. On base at .392, pretty good. Strikeout rate only 13.8%. So that all looks good. His slug, though, only .415. I kind of want to see that go up quite a bit before they call him back. He's not hitting the ball very hard. And then a name that I think Cubs fans should get familiar with that we haven't really talked a lot about on this network. Yep. Jonathan Long, first base, kind of a spring darling, kind of came out of nowhere. Everyone's like, oh, who's this Long guy? Had a really solid spring, and he's carried that over to the AAA season. He's hitting .336, on base of .406. He's slugging .461, 3 homers, 30% K rate, so still a little high there. But overall, his numbers outside of his K rate look pretty solid. But, we talked about Ballesteros a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. He's hitting, as of yesterday, was hitting .368, on base at a .420 clip. He's slugging .522. He's only striking out 11% of the time. So, Sean, can you even make an argument for any of these other quote-unquote top guys?
No, and I got some other numbers to go with it. Mostly be like sometimes stats are misleading, right? Like sometimes you can have like a really, really, really poor April, like Dansby does, but then you go, oh, he's hitting 240 something. That's really good. Like he's doing way better, right? Like, well, that doesn't really tell the story. So I wanted to go in there and I'm like, I saw your stats. I was like, let me check this out. And I'm like, I wanted to go look at the last 10. You said Owen Casey was batting just under 220. Well, his last 10 games, $166. He's literally striking out as much as he was getting on base. Like that's not good. 35.5%. Alcantara, same thing. Hey, you know what? He was 257 average. Last 10 games, 200 and 32% strikeout rate. Matt Shaw's got a 260 average. His last 10 has been 250 with a 17% strikeout rate. So he's striking out more the last 10 games than he did the whole thing. Ballesteros, though, That's the difference. His strikeout rate's improved. He's gotten on base just as much in the last 10 days as he has anywhere else. That's really the big telling thing for me is like, what have you done for me lately? Am I seeing progress? And with those other guys, just not seeing the progress yet. That's kind of the issue. Oh, we can't hear you, boss. There you are.
Good call. That's the cough button. I'm not used to it. I'm usually not sick when I do these shows. I do see in the comments here some people were asking quality of contact from Ballesteros tonight. He was fine. It looked – he didn't hit anything hard. They were all ground balls. It looked like a guy
who's 21.
Who's 21 was real. I mean, the Chicago media was all over him the last 24 hours of how great this kid is.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like that. I mean, the first at bat, he gets a fastball, watches, okay, whatever, no big deal. Then he gets a curveball that almost hits the dirt and weakly grounds out to second, double play. He had a chance at the bases loaded, double play. He looked like he needs some time to adjust because he's a 21-year-old kid stepping into the box at Wrigley Field, and people were giving him standing ovations every time he stepped up to the plate, which is awesome, and Cubs fans are the best for that. But also, if you're 21 years old at Wrigley Field and people are chanting your name and screaming and hollering, you got the bases loaded, I would imagine you're shaking in your boots quite a bit, which is a totally human reaction. So, it looked like that tonight.
I'm willing to bet tomorrow night because I would like to see him get the start against the lefty. I would like to see it. You've only got him up here for, 10 games, unless he just gets on a heater for the last 5 to 7. Like, if Ian Happ actually comes back next Tuesday and you only got him for 9 or 10 games, I want him to play. Let him play every day. He deserves the cup of coffee that he's got. Let him have it. Let him work it. And I want to see him he's going to get probably a couple of hits tomorrow night against this young guy, Ryan Weathers, that we're going to see.
Bold prediction. I dig it. Yeah, I don't know with the lefty, and maybe they don't, but I'm with you. If you really only have him until, let's say, next Tuesday when Happ comes back, and he's the guy that they're, okay, go back to AAA, we don't have a spot for you, which makes sense. I mean, with Seiya coming back, or Seiya going back to DH, that's probably going to be the case. So you might only have him for literally 7 days, which is 6 games because they're off on Thursday. Yeah, let the kid play. Let him figure it out. What harm does that do?
Right. Let whatever gets exposed in these next 10 games. Hey, bro, we're going to send you back down. We'll see in about a month or two when you figure these things out, because that's the kind of kid you are, and you seem to excel at everything that you seem to do right now, and you progress.
Yeah, and I don't want to have this conversation tonight. Maybe his best value, and I said this 2 weeks ago when Ty and I did a whole deep dive on Ballesteros, maybe his best value is as a trade asset. But you still want him to get that experience to showcase. I don't want to have the conversation. I see you looking at me. I don't know, because if he doesn't have a spot, say it's locked in for a couple years, that's a really good piece to go get you a pitcher. So maybe that's what they end up doing with him. And who knows? Maybe he gets hot for the next week, and they're like, oh, we can't send this kid down. He's hitting 800. Maybe. You never know. But before we go on to tomorrow's game, there was some massive MLB news. And I know we're a Cubs show, but this was big enough that it warrants at least 2 minutes of conversation on these airwaves. So, Commissioner Rob Manfred, known for being a buffoon, lived up to that today. He announced today that Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players have been removed from MLB's permanently ineligible list. Quote, this is a quote from ESPN, Manfred ruled that MLB's punishment of banned individuals ends upon their deaths. They are now presumably eligible for the election into baseball's Hall of Fame. Sean, just very quickly, your thoughts on this whole thing. It just made me sad, personally.
So my first introduction to baseball was like learning about Shoeless Joe Jackson in school. Like we had to read an article, and like I fell in love with it. And obviously I'm a Chicago, I was born in Chicago, but at that point didn't realize, like, this was just early in my life and just really, really young. But like, I thought it was really cool. But then I learned, like, he's not getting in the Hall of Fame. Like, he's not getting, like, isn't he like one of the most well-renowned, like, ball players by name and nickname of all time? Like, what's going on right there? It's about time. I mean, it's really what it is. I don't even know, like, with everything that we are going through in this day and age, like with sports gambling the way it is and how are things playing out, like, why is Pete Rose like banned for life? Like, I just, there are guys who are pitching and playing today who literally are domestic abusers. They're still playing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not for a major league team, but some are still playing. And I'm not literally thinking of anybody in particular. I just know their stories. But Pete was banned for life for betting some money on games that apparently weren't his. But anyways, all that to say, I'm glad they're getting in. I hope they don't put this with the actual like voting committee. This should just go to like the uppity ups, the superior guys, the historical committee guys, and they just need to make a decision. I don't want to make a big deal out of like the voting and like how many votes does he get. Like, screw that.
Yeah.
Just get him in.
I'll just keep this very brief. The Baseball Hall of Fame. Let's try this again. The Baseball Hall of Fame. It's a museum. It is literally just telling the story of baseball.
Yeah.
Even these steroid guys, the 90s. Are we just going to say the 90s did not happen? The steroid era did not happen? I mean, look, I don't want to get into this, the steroid guys be in the Hall of Fame. I don't want to have that conversation. But even the fact that we're having this conversation now after he's gone,
yeah,
it just makes me really sad because he is a part of baseball's history. And the Cubs connection here is this guy over my right shoulder here, Ron Santo. I have an autographed picture of him, one of my favorite Cubs of all time. And I only knew him as a radio guy. For how many, growing up, that's all I heard is, oh, Santo's got to get in the Hall of Fame. Santo's got to get in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
When does he get in? After he's gone. And it's a damn shame. It really is. And the fact that Manfred, it was like, well, their lifetime ban ends when they're dead. It rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And again, the Hall of Fame is a museum to tell the story of the game and the pastime that is baseball. And we're going to keep some of these guys out for scandals. I mean, Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame. He was known for being a dirtbag. You can't play moral police with a lot of this stuff. And now, as you said, baseball's in bed with a lot of these gambling companies. And the hypocrisy is just crazy. So while I'm happy Pete Rose will get his moment in the sun, I am devastated for him and his family that he wanted it for so long and he won't get to experience it. I think it's just, I get it to a point, but it makes me really sad for the game of baseball. But on a happier note,
final point. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Happier note, trying to pull this plane up from a Mayday. Let's hear from our friends at Avia Shirts.
Setup Nation, I want to take a quick break so that you know how you can support our channel and wear some cool swag like this. We've teamed up with Avia Shirts to give you a chance to have your very own Setup Man shirt or hat. Pick from 3 different types of shirts or my personal favorite, the trucker hat. Go to the link in the description of this video and podcast to claim your Setup Man apparel. And thank you so much for supporting our channel.
All right, vibes back up. Cubs win another series. They go for the sweep tomorrow against the Fish. Tomorrow, another night game. Odd. Not a 120 game. It is a 640 game against the Fightin' Fish of Miami. It'll be Ryan Weathers versus Jameson Tyone. Ryan Weathers making his season debut against the Cubs in his career. He's only got 5 games under his belt. He's 1-2. The Cubs have dominated him. He's 1-2 with an 8.27 ERA in 16 and a third innings pitch. He's in those 16 and a third innings pitch. He's allowed 15 earned runs. And Sean, you told me before the show you had some notes on Ryan Weathers.
Yeah, so Ryan Weathers, like he pitched 16 games last year, about 80 innings for the Miami baseball club last year, and has some good strikeout stuff, has some good stuff, but they did some things in the offseason to really, really, really tweak some things. He's got a lot of good breaking on his oh my gosh, his gyro slider that he just invented. He's got a vertical break with his fastball. I want to say it was my guy Lance Brzdowski that said, pick a good pitch from Carlos Rodon and Joe Mantiply, and he basically is the best version of both those guys. But
wow,
I say all that to say it's his first start back this season off of an injury. Not sure what they're going to do. It's a season debut. He might come out. He might get some swings and misses. At the end of the day, though, we don't really know what tweaks and changes he's needed to do. Hasn't pitched a game this season. Hasn't seen major league pitching. So I think tomorrow, again, put Mo Baller back in there. Let's see him get a couple of hits. And I think they should do a little bit of this here, Alex. I think they should go ahead and do what we need them to do. Let's see Kyle Tucker put the bat on the ball. Let's see Dansby continue what he's been doing. Let's see Nico Horner continue to play. Let's just see the offense kind of turn the corner and go in, take this sweep, go into Chicago, go to the Southsiders and let them know, hey, you caught us at the wrong time, bro. We figured things out yesterday. Let's get it going. Let's do this, boys.
Tomorrow, TCOB, take care of business. I agree. And for those listening on audio, Sean is waving a broom above his head. And just very quickly to finish up the show, Jameson Taillon this season, 2-2 with a 4.53 ERA and 43 2/3 innings pitched. His career against the Miami Marlins, dominant. In 4 games, he's 3-0 with an 0.83 ERA. In 21 2/3 innings pitched, only 2 earned runs allowed. So, Taillon on the bump tomorrow as the Cubs go for the sweep. For all that watched tonight, thank you. Make sure on your way out the door you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to help us out. Hit that little bell so you know what we're up to. I imagine, I have not talked to him, but I imagine that there is a breakdown coming of Ballesteros' debut from one podfather, Kyle Stanley himself. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe for all of that wonderful content. Tomorrow, no post-game show. We will be doing that Friday due to some scheduling stuff. So no post-game show tomorrow. But Sean, man, we were ready to have a negative show. Justin Turner, let's go.
No. DFA Turner, he's trash. DFA Turner, DFA. Thank you, Turner. We got a chance tomorrow.
So emotional, I'm coughing again. All right. On that note, thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. Sean and I are going to go put our arms on ice. Cubs win, baby!